Hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode of our Transport Fever 2 playthrough. In this game, our aim is to create a transportation and logistics empire by utilizing different modes of transport. So without further delay, let's get started by creating the map. We will be playing on the Megalomaniac Map. Personally, I prefer the map size to be 1:5 ratio. The town's density will be set to low, so the towns will be spaced apart. The industry level will be set to medium. We will be starting the game in the year 1850, and the difficulty will be set to medium. We have created our final map. So without further delay, let's get started. Let's do an overview of the map. I chose this map because it has a big river flowing through the middle. This will allow us to create a lot of shipping routes. In the early game, the easiest way to start making money is by creating a fuel line. Let's see if we can find a good location for creating a fuel production line. The town of Biddeford. They needs fuel. And luckily, there are oil wells and fuel production facilities nearby. I think this is a good location for our first production line. The raw material used for producing fuel is crude oil. We will need to transport the crude oil to an oil refinery, which will turn it into refined oil. After that, we will need to transfer the refined oil to the fuel refinery to create fuel. I chose this oil well near the bank of the river. We will set up a small cargo port close to it. We will be setting up a port at the oil refinery also. The ships will carry the crude oil to the oil refinery, then the refined oil will be transported back to the initial port. From there, we will create a train line to the fuel refinery. After the fuel production is complete, we will use horse-drawn carriages to deliver the fuel to the city of Biddeford. Let's start by building a small cargo port, adjacent to the crude oil well. We will be building another one closer to the oil refinery. We will add the final cargo port, just opposite to the first one. We will be using freight trains to transport refined oil to the fuel refinery. For that, we need to construct 2 cargo stations. Let's add the first one just opposite to the port. Now the second cargo station for the fuel refinery. Right now, I'm just using the contour layers to know about the gradients of the land. Now let's connect the 2 stations by building the track. The station also needs to be connected to the fuel refinery. Building a truck station is very important. They are necessary to transport goods through roads. So let's build one. Now I am increasing the length of the cargo platform. Longer platforms means higher goods storage capacity. We also need a truck unload stop. This is the drop-off point of fuel for the city of Bedford. We can set up our first line now. The ship will take a full load of crude oil from the oil well. They will unload the crude oil. The crude gets converted to refined oil, then the refined oil will be transported back on the same ship. The final stop will be the third cargo port. The refined fuel will be unloaded here. Time to buy our first ship. But to buy a ship, we need a shipyard. So let's build one. Let's buy 3 small cargo ships and assign them to the oil line. Now we need to build a train depot, and connect it with the rail line. They are needed to buy locomotives and carriages. Creating a new line from Station 1 to Station 2. To establish the line into the network, I'm building a train with 1 locomotive and 1 tank car only. Now for our final line in this production chain. The fuel delivery line from fuel refinery to Bedford City drop-off. Let's build a road depot and buy one horse-drawn carriage to the line. They will pick up the fuel from the fuel refinery truck station and drop it off at Bedford drop-off. So, that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we will focus on improving this line by adding more capacity. Thank you so much.